very good day to you all. My name is Pastor Lawrence Mazenge and welcome to Daily Inspiration. Today we are reading from the book of Matthew chapter 20 verses 22 to 23. The Bible says, "But Jesus answered and said, You know not what ye ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, We are able. And he said unto them, You shall drink indeed of the cup, of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them from whom it is prepared by my Father." And when the 10 heard it, this is verse 24, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. Our message this morning is titled, Embrace the Dimensions of Your Cup. Where we have just read, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing two brothers, James and John. Their mother approached Jesus Christ and asked that he makes his two sons to sit one on his right hand and one on the left in the kingdom. And Jesus responded well and he said, "You don't know what you are asking for, because I don't know, or I don't think you are able to drink of the cup." And then the boys, when they were asked whether they will be able to drink of the cup or not, they said, "We will be able to drink of the cup." Now, when we are talking about a cup, we are talking about a portion of challenges. In this scenario, a portion of challenges that have been designed according to the calling of your life. Because every calling, every level of a calling has got a cup that you've got to drink that goes hand in hand with that level. A lot of people desire the office. A lot of people desire the jacket, but they don't desire the process that one has to go through in order to wear that jacket. For Joseph to become the governor of Egypt, he had to drink a cup that not many of us would love to drink. But any one of us would love to be a governor. Any position in life, any calling in life has got a cup that you've got to drink. But a lot of people focus mostly on the benefits of the work or on the benefits of what someone is doing. If someone is a manager at work, they've got to go through a lot of things. They've got to go through a lot of stress. They've got to address a lot of issues. Sometimes they knock up very late. They don't have working hours. They can wake up at 12 midnight and start their work. That is the cup that they are drinking. But a person who does not understand will focus on the salary and the bonus that they are getting at the end of the year. But I want you to understand something. Before you envy what someone is doing, before you envy what someone is getting, may you start by investigating the dimensions of their cup. Because people, human beings, have got the tendency of just focusing on the results, but they don't want to focus on the process of what I had to go through. The bread has got to go through the oven before it salivates your mouth. Because the oven is at 260 degrees and there is no complaining, there is nothing. Because they are desiring to make, it is desiring to make you buy it. I want you to understand, every level of life has got a cup. If you don't understand the dimensions of that cup, you just need to learn to embrace your own dimensions. Because sometimes what you desire, sometimes what you envy, sometimes what you are looking at from a distance is not that rosy when you see it from a closer proximity. I want you to understand, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. The higher you go, the lonelier it becomes. Everyone looks at you and they blame you. Everyone looks at you and they say, this is why, he is the reason why things are not moving. Why? You have got to drink a certain cup if you are at a higher level in life. I want you to understand, it is one thing to be called a billionaire, and it is one thing to drink the cup of being a billionaire. It is one thing to be called a founder of so many churches, and it is one thing to drink a cup of being a founder of so many churches. Sometimes you go into other villages and they treat you so badly, but because you've got to preach the gospel, you cannot just ignore and say, I'm leaving them. You've got to be patient. Sometimes you've got to lead some people whom you know that at one point they were planning to kill you. Now they've turned over their lives and they are now into the gospel. Barnabas had laid hands upon Saul, one of the chief murderers who was known in the city. That was a cap upon his ministry. So when Jesus was asking the boys, and he said unto them, you know not what you are asking. He wanted them to understand the cup of him being the one whom they want to sit, one on his right hand and the other on his left. They were thinking at that point in time that his kingdom was going to be established through the natural wars of this world. But the kingdom of Christ was going to be established through his own death. And he asked them, guys, do you understand? And can you go through my baptism? And can you drink the cup from my cup? Maybe when they heard about baptism, they were thinking about the baptism of John that Jesus had gone through. But no, he was about to go through another baptism where he was going to be crucified on the cross. And when they spoke about the cup, maybe they were thinking about the cup in Psalms 23 where David was saying, my cup runneth over. But Jesus was talking about a real cup that was a measure of his calling upon this world. I want you to understand there is a cup that goes hand in hand with the dimensions that you desire in life. Will you be able to measure? Will you be able to accept? Will you be able to embrace the cup that comes with the dimensions that you desire in life? If we read the Bible in the book of Acts chapter 12 verses 1 to 2, the Bible says, now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James the brother of John with the sword. James was the first one to be killed amongst the apostles, and he was killed with the sword. And when it pleased the Jews, Herod wanted to kill Peter as well. But I want you to understand, the boys were asked by Jesus Christ, are you able to drink of my cup? Now the dimension of the cup of James was to be the first disciple to be killed. And his brother John, when we read from the book of Revelations, he was at the island of Patmos. They tried to kill him, but they could not kill him. They dipped, history says they put him in the drums of boiling oil, but they could not kill him. They plucked out his eyes, but he did not die. And he was isolated at the island of Patmos. Alone there, that is when he received the revelation which brought the book of Revelation in the Bible. His brother was the first one to be killed. And the younger brother was the last one to die amongst the original apostles. Why? He was drinking his cup. These boys received the cup from the same God, but the dimensions of their cups were different. Each one of them had to embrace the dimensions of their cup. I don't know if the dead could complain, but I don't think James was complaining in heaven to say, why did I have to die early? I believe that's when he began to understand the dimensions of his cup. And John, when he went to heaven and met Christ, I don't think he complained and said, why did you leave me for that long? Those were the dimensions of his own cup. I want you to understand, your life has got its own cup. You need to learn to embrace the dimensions of your own cup, because they go hand in hand with the work that the Lord has put upon your shoulders. You need to understand your neighbor's cup is not your own cup. Embrace the dimensions of your own cup. When you are into ministry, you need to understand that your ministry is different from another person's ministry. Paul had a ministry to the Gentiles. Peter had a ministry to the Jews. What they faced was so different. They had so many different dimensions in their ministries. At one point, Paul was beaten, even to death. But Peter sometimes would enjoy and embrace his ministry as well. I want you to understand, we are people with different ministries. We are people with different callings. The dimensions of our own cups are different. Let me embrace my own dimension, and you learn to embrace your own dimension. Don't look down upon the one who is suffering the most, because you never know why Joseph is in prison. He could be in prison so that he goes on to that chair before the prison. You never know why Job is going through what he's going through. He might be going through that because he has been righteous before God. But his friends would come and judge him and say, confess, what did you do? Learn to embrace the dimensions of your own cup, and don't judge those that are going through their own cups as well. God bless you and have a good day.